What is the Bill of Rights? 44% of all Americans cannot define the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution. The First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Let's start off by talking about freedom of speech. Americans have the right to free speech, and the government cannot interfere with that right. Freedom of speech includes symbolic speech or expression. Some examples of freedom of speech are the right to not salute the flag, the right of people or corporations to contribute money to political campaigns, the right to engage in symbolic speech, such as burning the flag in protest, the right to wear something in protest or support. Limits have been placed on the First Amendment's right to free speech. Freedom of speech or expression does not include defamation, fighting words, obscenities, child pornography, perjury, blackmail, incitement, or threats. Next, we'll talk about freedom of religion. The First Amendment prohibits the establishment of a religion or the free exercise thereof. The Establishment Clause means that Congress cannot establish a religion for America or force Americans to participate in a specific religion. The Free Exercise Clause means that Congress or the government cannot prevent the free exercise of someone's chosen religion. Americans have the right to practice the religion of their choice without governmental interference. A peaceful assembly happens across the country, such as workers protesting a company's policies, and it is what our founding fathers wanted. But what has happened recently in some parts of the country is no longer a peaceful assembly, but has become rioting. The Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The Second Amendment is necessary for the militia, but it is also a right for the people to have a way to protect and defend themselves. The Third Amendment. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. The Fourth Amendment. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. The Fourth Amendment also protects against the stop and frisk of a person without reasonable suspicion that the person has committed a crime, is in the process of committing a crime, or is about to commit a crime. The Fourth Amendment also protects individuals from illegal wiretaps or other forms of surveillance. This constitutes a search under the Fourth Amendment because it violates the privacy rights of an individual when the person has a legitimate expectation of privacy. The Fifth Amendment. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. What is a grand jury indictment? A prosecutor will work with a grand jury to determine if criminal charges will be brought against a person. If the prosecutor cannot establish probable cause, the grand jury will not indict, which means the prosecutor must present the grand jury with enough evidence to warrant the indictment.
So Heather, if the grand jury doesn't indict me, can they still charge me?
If the grand jury does not indict a person, the prosecutor can use the grand jury again to present new evidence, get a new grand jury, or file criminal charges regardless of the grand jury decision. What is double jeopardy? Double jeopardy means that a person cannot be charged twice for the same offense after an acquittal or conviction. Double jeopardy prevents multiple punishments for one offense. I plead the Fifth. The Fifth Amendment protects a person from giving testimony that could incriminate that person in a crime. What is due process of law? Due process includes substantive and procedural due process, in which all legal proceedings should be fair and the person should have the right to be heard before the government can take away a person's life, liberty, or property. The Sixth Amendment. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. The Seventh Amendment. In suits at common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. The Eighth Amendment. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. Cruel and unusual punishment is any punishment that is clearly inhumane or that violates basic human dignity. The death penalty is often debated as being a form of cruel and unusual punishment, which is why the majority of states have stopped using the electric chair and now use lethal injection, which is thought to be more humane. The Ninth Amendment. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. The Ninth Amendment protects certain unenumerated rights, which are rights that are not expressly mentioned in the Constitution, but are inferred from the language, history, and structure of the Constitution or cases that interpret the Constitution. Some of these rights include the right to travel, the right to privacy, the right to autonomy or independence, the right to dignity, and the right to an abortion. The 10th Amendment. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Hopefully this video has helped you to gain a better understanding of the Bill of Rights. Knowledge is power, and having the knowledge gives you the power to protect yourself.